Okay, I wanted to show you some, just a quick example of this third project, the double exposure. This project is really, really easy, and the emphasis on this one is really to not overthink. I want you to use your own photographs for this project, and they they ideally would be pictures that you either shot specifically for this project or pictures that you've taken that you were out taking pictures to try to get good pictures of things, not, I don't want you guys going through your, you know, selfie pictures that you're going to put on Facebook, or your, vacation pictures at SeaWorld, or whatever. Those are not going to make interesting pictures. I'd much rather have things that have kind of more of a random or a surprise meaning to them. And ideally, if you've got like just a variety of really cool photographs that you've taken, or if you can just go around and just take interesting pictures of random things, you would be surprised what you can do. With this project, part of the fun of this project is you just never know what you're going to get. You can't overthink it. Everything just kind of comes out as a surprise, and I don't know. That's just why I really like this project so much. So they do need to be your own photographs. You can't use anybody else's work for this. It's got to be your own work. We need to really emphasize originality when we get to the Photoshop portion of this class. So basically what I want you to do, let me show you some of the pictures that I have. I did use some of my old pictures from about 2 years ago, a trip I took to Las Vegas. I had, just spent a lot of time wandering around. There's a lot to take pictures of there, and it's a great place for people watching. And I have just never quite figured out what I was going to do with all these images. I took a bunch of black and whites and a bunch of color as well. And I'm just gonna, I just went through kind of the stuff I had, and pulled out some of the things that I liked. I had hundreds and hundreds of pictures, but I thought, well, these are surely, interesting as some kind of a space. You need to have some kind of a background space, and then some kind of a person or an object that you can put as a subject. So, there's no shortage of interesting backgrounds in Las Vegas. And there's no shortage of interesting people in Las Vegas. So, one of the ones I had was a Elvis impersonator talking to a cop. Just random pictures of tourists. Anyone wearing a costume was kind of fair game. I got some really cool pictures of this woman with her costume, and there's all sorts of, you know, people from every walk of life out there, and I got some really interesting pictures of this woman here, and I was sitting in a bar one night, and I was kind of spying on people and taking surveillance photos of people. They didn't know they were being photographed, and I thought, well, maybe I could, do something with this guy's hands or this guy's glasses or something. Another interesting character from the strip. So, um, you know, this this is what I mean by pictures that are just kind of like photographs to be photographs, and not like, oh, this is, I just don't want pictures of, you and your friends or your family posing, or that's not going to be interesting. I'd like to have something that has some character. And so let me show you. I did virtually no pre-planning at all. on any of these. I just, there's really no way that you can. I just started putting things together, um, and seeing what happened and seeing if they worked or not. That's probably my favorite one right there. And it was so incredibly easy. I'll show you how I did it in a minute. Um, just all the different effects that you can get. That one's probably not so great, um, but just I thought that one turned out really nice. I liked the way this curve. This was totally unplanned. I just just stuck it in there, but I really like the way this curve right here kind of mimicked the curve of the top of her head, and the lines right here kind of matched up with her costume a little bit, and so there's the Elvis impersonator with the cop. Um, I don't know. I guess with Vegas pictures you can't go wrong. So anyhow, I wanted to just show you what I did. My computer is running really, really slow today. So the assignment requires that you do one in color, one in black and white, and I can show you in another video how to eliminate the color from a picture. If you don't have a setting on your camera where you can shoot in black and white. But let's say I'm going to recreate one of these. This one was just really easy to do. I'll recreate this one for you. So let me see if I can find that file, open. Okay, so basically I had a subject, a figure, and a background. I'll do one color and one black and white for you, just so I can show you some different things. I'm really sorry about the speed of my computer. I need to replace it. This one and this one. If you get something like this, just for now, just ignore it. That seems to be something that's coming up with the most recent version of Photoshop. All right. So let's see, these are the two I'm using, this one right here and this one. So even though it doesn't really matter what order you put them in, you're going to use one of these as a background layer and one of them as a foreground layer, and you're going to be switching them around. So I'm just going to take this one. Here's my move tool right here. And there's a number of ways you can do this, but one way you can take a picture from one Photoshop file and put in another, get your move tool, grab it, and then go touch the tab of the file that you want to put it into. Don't let go of your mouse, and then bring your mouse back down to inside the picture, and then let go of your mouse button, and there you've got the two pictures. And let me open my layers palette so I can show you. Okay, so there's the background layer, and then there's the second layer. And I want to move these around back and forth, and if you'll notice, my background layer is locked. I'm going to double click background, and it's just going to come up and give it a new name, layer 0, and notice that the little lock disappears. And what this means is that, now I can, drag one on top of the other and stack them. And I think what had actually worked best, I found, you're going to get different results depending on which one is on top and which one is on the bottom. And I literally just put one on top and put one on the bottom, and then started going through the different blending modes. You can read in your book about these, and it's going to give you all these technical explanations for what this one does and what that one does, and so on and so forth. And um, I that just never really made a lot of sense to me. I just keep going through them until I find something that I like. Um, so I think I probably wound up using, let's see, it's probably one of these in here. I think I wound up using like maybe Color Dodge or something like that. And you know, I can also do things like I can scale this up a little bit. You know, they don't have to be exactly the same size if they don't want to, if I don't want them to be. Um, I can, that was a Command T, but I can scale up this part of the picture, you know, just to kind of get a different effect, different composition. Okay. I don't know. There's just, I mean, I can sit there and pick at these as much as I want. I'll show you in a different video how I could do some masking on these. But let me go ahead and do another one of these. Let me, you know, just kind of recreate one of these other ones. Let's see, in the color, because the color is going to come out very, very different. Let's see. I thought I got a nice result with this one. And where was the picture that I put over top of it? Which one of these did I use? It had a little highlight right there. Well, I can't remember which one I used, so I'm just going to randomly grab another one. Who knows, maybe it'll even come out better. Okay. All right, so there's this one and this one. So I'm going to take this one, drag it up to touch it to the other one, and then remember, don't let go of your mouse button until you've brought it back inside the other picture, and then you can let go. And there it is. And so what's happening here, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because we've got a format issue. Because if you'll notice, the camera was turned vertically to take her picture and turned horizontally to take this picture. And so actually what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to drag her in the trash. I'm going to take the background and place it onto her picture instead, because it'll be easier to make some changes. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want her to do it here. There we go. Okay. Because I remember I did some scaling. Okay, yeah, so so now I've got this horizontal picture, and it's over the top of a vertical picture, but this is kind of cool because it gives me a chance to scale it and just use part of it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose any of these just so I can kind of have some kind of transparency, just so I can kind of see what's going on. Um, some of these look really awesome and some of them look really horrible. I really think I was doing better just kind of in this range here. Okay, but then I can take this layer and it's Command T for the free transform, and I can scale it up so that it's the same height as the picture of the girl. Okay, and apply it. And then I can, move it back and forth and, decide which I like better, which direction I like it better. It's been one of those days. I'm using a very old Mac, and I'm actually have Illustrator and Photoshop open at the same time. And that's part of the reason why everything's running so slow. I've got to get a new computer soon. The computer itself is fine, but what happens is with all the upgrades and updates and everything, everything just becomes too powerful for the old operating system, the old hardware. Okay, so there we go. Finally, that's scaled. Okay, so I can move this around as much as I want, but I think I found that I liked it better. Let me put that. Oh, horrible, horrible, horrible. No, I guess I liked it better the other way. But I can sit here and play with it all day, and I don't necessarily like what I have right now as much as what I got earlier. But I don't think I need to sit here and perfect it to get you to see um, what the process is. So at the bare minimum, this is all you have to do is just get two pictures. It works or it doesn't work, and one of the ways I knew if I liked it or not, like, see, I don't like that one. That one's just not doing anything for me. But one of the reasons I knew if I liked it or not would be like if I was flipping back through them later, um, and it popped out, it kind of stood out at me. I'd be like, oh, hey, that looks good. And, it's like if I wanted to do a double take of my own work, I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe I did get something here that kind of succeeded. I did this one, I think it was called Difference, just to show you you can get some really, really weird effects. I don't know that this is necessarily the most attractive image or anything, but I just wanted you to see, what the range of what would happen when you play around with these things. And then also don't forget that you can make the effect more or less severe with the opacity slider. Um, and so I didn't do any masking on any of these. These you do not have to do masking unless you want to. I will show you in another video how to do a little bit of masking on these if you want. But if you do any masking, I'd really prefer that you just keep it very simple. I don't want you to spend a lot of time on this assignment. This is meant to be a very, very easy assignment, and probably more than anything else, it's meant to just kind of be an exercise in getting you to be open to random possibilities that can happen when you have an open mind and are willing to just kind of free associate.